captures my sorrow like the notes of a broken melody. I used to dream about a woman just like you. My dreams came true, then they turned into a nightmare of so many years I let your memory haunt me, and even now I hear your laughter taunt me. Still I long to create you, take back all the love that made me hate you. In this house on a hill, your ghost sits with me still and waits to taste the teardrops that roll down my cheek. But your kiss tastes of earth. There's no time for rebirth. All
And welcome back, everybody, to the Ropeadope Music and Arts Festival, Day 2. Friday night on the East Coast, a gray and rainy day, but that is not changing our spirits. We are very excited. We had a lot of fun last night. We've had a slammin' day on Bandcamp. Thank you on behalf of all the artists for all the fans out there who are jumping in. And we've got an amazing night for tonight. I'm really excited about all of this. But first, I want to mention downloads.ropeadope.com is the place to go. This is Bandcamp Day, where Bandcamp waives their share of revenue. Therefore, almost all, with the exception of a few charges, of the money goes right to the artist's account. And that's a great thing in this day and age. We are going to chat today with several Ropeadope artists. We are going to have an artist-to-artist interview later in the evening with Shaun, Martin, and Gorden Campbell. And we're going to hang out with the cats from Lespecial in the 6 o'clock hour. But first, we're going to go right to Montreal and welcome back Mr. David Rishpan. David, how are you?
Good, and you? How's everything going? It's also gray and rainy here.
Is it? There you go. There you go. Time for reflection and time to stay in and listen to music and shop on Bandcamp.
Exactly. That's what I've been doing all day.
David, your album, The Sorcerer's Flag, is out. That's on Bandcamp, and we can post in the comments the link for people to go check that out. I recommend that they do. But last night we talked about you falling in love with Brazilian music, and I'd just like to know, what's next for you? Like, are you making any plans? Are you going to record again?
We were lucky. We were very lucky. So in Quebec, in Montreal, there is a system, a network of cultural centers called Maison de la Culture, or literally houses of culture. And what they've been doing, they've always done this, but because they can't have performances or shows, what they've been doing is opening up the spaces for residencies for people to work on research, creation, production, staging, whatever you would need a theater to work in. They have been opening up their spaces because it's also a way for them to pay their technicians and keep people on staff. So Trio Bruxo got a residency at the beginning of November, and we were there for 5 days. We had full use of the space and the board and the lights and everything. So we were working on a new set of music. The last record, The Sorcerer's Flag, is based in music from the northeast of Brazil, and kind of our lighthouse or primary inspiration was the great multi-instrumentalist and composer Hermeto Pascoal. For this new set of music, I've kind of turned my focus to the center of the country, the state of Minas Gerais, which is where Milton Nascimento is from. And I wanted to really explore that music and that generation of artists who came out of Minas Gerais in the 70s. And as I was working on the music, I kind of came to this elevator pitch, if you want, of what if all those guys who made Clube da Esquina, because they were 30 when they made that record in 1972. So what happens if they're 30 now? And if you replace all of the Beatles influence and all of the Weather Report influence with basically people who are on Ropeadope right now, Christian Scott and David Sanchez and Terrace Martin, what happens if you swap the influences that aren't Brazilian? And so we worked on original compositions and new arrangements of music from Minas Gerais. Some of it is going up on YouTube. We did a live stream on my Twitch channel from that theater. And so that's the plan moving forward for 2021, is to focus on that new set of music, and also to bring the older set of music that we didn't get to tour this year, bringing that to people in any way that we can.
Wonderful. So I hope there are some ticketed live streams on Bandcamp in the future for some of that. And
yes, that looks really interesting. I haven't gotten into the nitty-gritty of how that works, but that's definitely very intriguing for us. Yeah.
They did a great job. They dotted their I's and crossed their T's, and we're helping people with it. So look forward to that. And I want people to make a mental note that there'll be ticketed live streams on Bandcamp in 2021. It's going to be very, very interesting. Before we get to your video, I want to welcome, first shout out to Fabian Brown down at the Ropeadope room, holding it down. Let's see that beautiful room.
Thanks, Louis. Glad to be here, guys.
There it is. And I want to welcome Andrew Bergmann in Texas, I believe.
Yep, San Antonio. How you doing, Louis? Good to be here.
I'm well. Thank you for being here. We are, Andrew has a record out. I'm not going to pronounce all the names properly, so perhaps you could introduce the record, and I'll give the link afterwards.
Sure. It's Sued Nanda Yapa Bergmann Saunders. We put the harder to say names in the front, so you get some reward for that. But yeah, actually, I played around with all four names in every order, and that's actually the easiest to say. But yeah, Sued Nanda Yapa Bergmann Saunders, and yeah, we have this album that we put out about a month ago on Ropeadope Store, so we're really excited about that part of the Ropeadope family, and I personally have really been interested in Mexico City and the Monterey, and a bunch of the jazz scenes in Mexico have presented themselves as pretty amazing in the last few years.
Wonderful, thank you. And we're gonna go into your video second. That's going to follow David's video right away. And then third, we're going to go to Malumbo. See, Brian O'Neill is in the room, but maybe absent because I'm not seeing a video image. But shout out to Brian and Rob and all the other folks who are in the creative project Malumbo. That is, it's eye candy and ear candy. So bear with me one second here. My computer is doing some very strange things. That's what the radio guys call dead air, right? I think we're ready. Fabian, do you have anything to add?
Super excited, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to play these three tracks, Trio Bruxo, Andrew Bergmann, and Malumbo.
David, would you like to say anything about the video before we begin?
There you go.
So this video was filmed at as part of our residency at the theater. The theater is called L'Entrepôt La Chine. It means the La Chine warehouse. It's a beautiful theater. I do want to thank Matthew Garside and Ben Davis, who were our techs for the whole week we were there, and I want to thank the Réseau Access Couture and everyone at L'Entrepôt La Chine for having us at the beginning of November for the residency. The track is called Eau de Borogodó, which, aside from being a kind of slang phrase in Brazil, it's also the name of one of my favorite clubs in Sao Paulo that preserves choro and samba music, and I hope that everyone at Eau de Borogodó is doing okay, and that the club is still open and hanging on, and we hope to get back there as soon as we possibly can.
Terrific. Let's Fabian, let's come back real quickly to Andrew after the Trio Bruxo video, then he can comment on that.
Sounds great.
All right, welcome back. A quick moment here to jump in and say hello to Andrew Bergmann. And Andrew, I'd like you to pre-pave, let us know what we'll be watching with this next video.
Excellent. Yeah, the song is called De Pipe. Now, pipe is a Dutch word it means pipe, but it's spelled P-I-J-P. And it's also, besides meaning pipe, it's also a neighborhood in Amsterdam where I used to live. So a bit of the backstory with this band is that Natalio Sued, the saxophone player, and we both started the same day at the Conservatory in Amsterdam in the year 2000. And we showed up from the Americas, kind of unusual students going to study jazz in Europe, a fantastic, weird old building. And we both kind of took up residence in the Netherlands and got to know each other at that point. And then years later, we put this project together. But this song is a bit of a story song, and it's about this neighborhood and what it was like to hang out in the pipe in Amsterdam in the year 2000.
Beautiful.
Tanzmusik aus Afrika. A world of emotion, imagination, the supernatural. Tanzmusik aus Afrika.
It's Mesophone.
It's brutal.
Let's take drugs and listen.
We are just getting started here at Ropeadope Music and Arts Festival Day 2, and we just saw some wonderful videos. Trio Bruxo at the top, Andrew Bergmann in between, and following it up with the highly charged music of Malumbo. I want to give a quick shout out to Brian O'Neill, who's here in the room. I hope some of the Malumbo folks will be joining us later.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Lewis.
And a hello
Hey,
to Jillian Margot as well in New York City, I hope.
Yeah, hi there. How you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you.
So for those who are just joining us, I want to urge everybody to share this stream on their social media pages if you can. And what we're doing here is hanging out with some artists, premiering some new material, talking about life and music in 2020, and working to connect fans with musicians and get closer. Some tech problems here with some microphones, but I think we're okay. I want to mention the sites to go. It's downloads.ropeadope.com. We're having a big day on Bandcamp, and we really appreciate it. And what's coming up is we are going to announce some new things that we're opening up in the stores, in the Bandcamp stores for different artists. Things from Christian Scott Atunde Ajua, from Johanna Bernhardt, from Jillian Margot, I believe. Alexia Bomtempo, and also right now until 3 o'clock tomorrow morning East Coast time, you can stream and purchase the Archie the Goldfish album as well as the ZENG album. Both are not ready to come out for another week or two, and on Saturday morning that option will go away, so jump in early. We'll also have some test pressings and some other specials mentioned as we go forward. Very excited, but the next thing that's going to happen here is we're just going to chat with some Ropeadope artists. We'd love to hear your comments. I'd also like to welcome to the room. I'm following Zoom here. Let me change my view to gallery view so I can see everyone. Hello to Mr. Will Hansa from Escaper.
Hey Lewis, hey everyone.
Will, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. And Alexi Glick, the snack cat himself.
Hey Lewis, how you doing?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'd like to queue up our trusty assistant here, who handles all Ropeadope design, Mr. Kaya Marks, and ask him to post the Bandcamp links of each of the members, each of the people that are here, including Lespecial, who we're queuing up for a discussion at 6, and so that people know where to find this music. It can be a little daunting. We talk a little bit about the Bandcamp format, and I think, Brian, you mentioned this to me, that people who use Bandcamp or are new to Bandcamp have a hard time sort of navigating through the many thousands of artists that are on the platform.
Yeah, because it's more flat than hierarchical. There's no, it doesn't lend itself to navigation that well. Let's just put it that way, in semantic terms that, music listeners relate to. You can get within a label, let's say, and from any of those artists, one hop to someone who they like, let's say, or maybe the whatchamacallit, fan pages.
It's harder to flip through than the vinyl in a record shop.
Yeah, quite a bit. Right, and more time consuming, and you can't see the lay of the land. As you're doing it, there's no global picture. Whereas in a record shop, it's immediately apparent.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to ask, I believe Rob, Flato, or Paul, to stop your screen sharing and get busy cleaning up your desktop, because that is absolutely the messiest desktop I have ever seen in my life. And you just shared it with the world, my friend.
That's good. That's great.
Gratitude is all I have, because now when I sit at my desk and look at it and go, man, it's a mess, I go, no, it's cleaner than Rob's desktop. It does use up memory on your computer, by the way, when you leave things out on the desktop. Welcome to Rob from Malumbo. I guess I'd just like to ask, just let's take some turn. I'd like you to share experiences here while we're hanging, while we have the benefit of having different artists from different places in the room. How has 2020 been, and what's keeping you going? Jillian, you want to start?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, 2020. Whew. I can't say it's been, it's been a challenge. Let's say that. Let's just say that it's been a challenge in ways that I could not have imagined for us. We had some sort of extra unpleasant surprises happen in our family, in our community this year, and honestly, it's been I'm really grateful that I released this album, Power Flower. It's been a year of a lot more music creation as well, because, you know, as soon as you release one album, there's usually another one right behind it, you know, kind of in creation. As I know many of you probably know, I've been really grateful to the return to, you know, picking up the phone to call people instead of being on screen all the time. A lot of friends and colleagues, we just, you know, spend so much time on screen and texting and emailing that it's been nice to just sort of hear people's voices. And so I've spent a lot of time just listening, not even like, you know, seeing them face to face on FaceTime, just listening, trying to, you know, give my eyes a rest and keep my ears open as much as possible this year. But it's been pretty great, you know, returning to sort of simpler things in that way, being reminded of, you know, what's important. I have a little guy who's 3, and it's been pretty great to, you know, make music with him in some way. And my husband is a pianist, you know, every day. So just that's been pretty great. And that's sort of where I live. That and the, you know, keep the sunshine in your mind. I like that, Lewis. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the space I've been trying to live in.
I've gotten deep into that, and to the point where I question now, how do external events change the way I feel, and why?
Yeah.
And who is running this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And but you know, what you said about making, you know, that's not, you're not the first to say that you've been making music, and I'll bet you, like, there's going to be the equivalent of a baby boom in music in 2021.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be all these projects that get recorded and all this wonderful songwriting, and I think that's beautiful. But you know, I interviewed an artist with Dekel Boer on the Speak in My Peace show just a few weeks back. I can't remember if it was Antonio Sanchez or maybe Ethan Iverson. There was a lot of discussion about what, you know, COVID has done, and one of the things was I'm home, which, you know, when you're on the road, you're like, I just want to be home for a while, you know? But he pointed out that he actually got to see 4 seasons, which stunned me because, you know, I guess when you're traveling, you don't see that, right?
Yeah.
You're traveling the world.
Yeah, a lot of the time we go where the weather's nice, you know, if we're lucky. And that's been pretty, you know, that's something that, like, we used to live in Los Angeles, and frankly, I missed the 4 seasons from here. So we realized once we moved to New York, back to New York, and then we started traveling again, that we weren't really seeing those 4 seasons that much anyway. But yeah.
Let's jump over to Alexei Glick. How have you been handling 2020, and what do you got cooking?
Oh man, well, it's definitely been quite the year. I mean, for me, what's been really kind of keeping me going is just, you know, sort of this need to keep creating. You know, it's really kind of how I've sort of dealt with, like, all the just hardships of 2020. It's definitely been my outlet, you know, writing a lot and playing my guitar. Also, you know, I mean, I'm trying to also look at it as an opportunity, even though it's really hard sometimes. Is like, this is probably, in certain senses, the most time I'm going to have to learn new things in my entire life. You know, just, you know, I've been able to really, like, just focus on a lot of, like, you know, getting better with the whole home recording thing, and, you know, just trying to just work on some things that maybe in the past I haven't been, you know, quite as good at. So that's been, like, for me, like, very definitely something that's really helped out a lot.
Good. Mr. Will Hansa?
Hey there.
Hey, good to see you.
Great to see you, all of you. Well, my 2020, you know, it's like a lot of others. I feel like, you know, at first it was like a brick across the face, like what's happening here? And had to figure out ways to adapt, and really, I think it's been one of my more creative times. I think these have been times of like trying to really dig into the bare truths of things, and that I think has led to even a more genuine songwriting process, and then just also a certain amount of intention and just really digging in to things. And so, we did release an album in June, which I'm really proud of, and we since then been able to really work on a whole bunch of new material. And so, looking forward to the day when we can be putting that out regularly, playing out live again regularly. But, for now, working on recording and stuff like that. So.
Awesome. Anyone else want to chime in? I feel like I'm like the teacher appointing people.
I guess, sorry to just add something for 2 seconds. I should have mentioned we also did just release 2 singles, Fight or Flight and Breaking Point, which, really kind of talked about, a lot of sort of the current environment and, struggles that we're all going through, but also, kind of, some opportunities, through this whole thing. Just wanted to add that.
Absolutely, and Kaya will put those in the chat or, on the feed to let people know where to get those. Rob, have you got your screen in order? You're muted. There he is.
Oh, now I hear you.
How are you?
Doing grand, and yourself? Just getting back in from the rain.
Just never better. Never better.
Good.
Hanging out with Ropeadope artists for the whole world to see. It's my favorite thing to do these days.
Bless you and Fabian and everyone there.
Any comments on how 2020's been and what you've been working on?
Well, for us, it was an opportunity to do a lot of the things we never got to do that are not very interesting things to do, but we got organizationally a little better and are taking care of a lot of bureaucratic things that never seem to have gotten done during real life. So there's upsides as well as downsides.
I hear you. My sock drawer is impeccably clean right now.
To wit. Yeah.
Not really. I thought it was going to be that, but it just didn't happen. Sometimes the more you organize, the more chaos ensues.
Yes, there's a formula there.
For my brain, apparently. Andrew, would you like to comment, or Brian?
I was just going to mention that for me, 2020 was weirdly a continuation of some recent years, in that I feel like, because I've lived in a bunch of different places. I spent 4 years living in Europe and Amsterdam, and I've lived in New York, and I'm from the Boston area. I also lived in Minnesota, Austin. Now I'm in San Antonio. And I feel like I've left behind these great relationships with some bad players that I've known who are far away. So this experience of how we're going to make music when the people we love are separated by space, and we have to figure out how to do it virtually and still stay creative and stay inspired, because I usually find a lot of my inspiration from the people around me. I would like to believe I return it, but definitely like the relationship musically, playing with other people is always so important. So if we're playing music that's primarily improvisational and primarily based on being together in the room and everything that comes from that, how are we going to go on? So with the group that we were watching the video for before, Sued Nanda Yapa group, now we're about to embark on a process after making 2 albums where we all got together at great expense and effort, and it worked out great, but getting the humans together was a major effort. And now we are trying this new effort as we consider our next album. Okay, now we have to make jazz where we're all in different places, and how exactly does that work? And I imagine that a lot of the other people here now are considering that same question.
Great thing to bring up. I mean, I remember early on in this pandemic, a lot of the conversations were around, I just want to get back to normal, wait for this thing to pass. Everybody's just sort of standing by waiting for it to go away. And I was very skeptical at the time, and the thought comes up. I like to think that while everybody here has grown up in basically the same moment in time, in that travel was easy. There are lots of studios. You can perform with local people, but you can also stretch out and fly to New York and perform with the people, play with the people, record with people, and create your band or your connections that way. It feels like it's gone, right? But it wasn't always like that. I mean, when you go back to the 50s and 60s, people, three people weren't flying from different parts of the country into New York to meet to record an album, unless you were at the highest level, right? People were playing locally and regionally, and making do with that. So the question is, what is next? I mean, perhaps the synthetic is real because it's a workaround, because it's a reality. It's not real, but it's a reality. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, at this point, with what's been going on with recorded music, in a way that we've been preparing for this as well. With people, I remember hearing about the new Taylor Swift album and how there's a great drummer from Minnesota who's on it, and he didn't know that he was on a Taylor Swift album. He just recorded the session. And then this is his big break, in a way, it's bizarre that would happen when you're in a situation where you're anonymous until you're very much not.
Interesting. There are probably more people who were who went and played and weren't and didn't end up on the album. To point that out as well. Yeah. We've kind of lost some video here with Mr. Brown, but I'm curious as to where we are time-wise, Fabian.
We're pretty good. We're about 15 minutes until our next piece.
Oh, we have extra time.
That's correct.
How did that happen? I'll just leave it open for anyone to bring up anything. No? Let's listen to a song. Rob, you got something?
On deck here? No, you have something of ours there, but I have no.
Gotcha.
I just came in from the New York rain to see what was going on.
There we go. There we go. Well, I see that. Fabian, let's do this. I don't think this has ever happened before, that we were ahead of schedule. Possible.
Sign.
Let's look. I'll do the pitch here for a second, but after that, Fabian, can you look and see what there's some unreleased tracks or some top tracks from 2020, maybe at the bottom of the OBS feed that you might be able to go into?
I'll check it out.
All right. So I want to remind people who are watching that this is the Ropeadope Music and Arts Festival, which is always ahead of schedule. We're broadcasting from the Ropeadope Room just outside the great city of Philadelphia. Mr. Fabian Brown is on deck. My name is Louis Marks. I'm here at an undisclosed location. And the gist of all this is that we're introducing you to Ropeadope musicians, Ropeadope music, and related imprints, premiering some new video and performances that people have made during lockdown, and just generally hanging out and talking about life. The point of it all is to bring something, connect with you in whatever way we can during this lockdown. Being the fans, the lovers of music, who have been so wonderful in supporting these artists over time. It is Bandcamp Day today, and we've got another, how to do the math, 10 hours perhaps, I'm guessing, where Bandcamp will waive their fee. So literally the way this works is, and I talked about this last night, but I'll talk about it again here live, and hope that people are listening and that it's educational. When an artist sends music to us at Ropeadope, we set up a basic arrangement to split profits 50-50, and we work to help artists navigate the game. We share tools, tips, and tricks. We work publicity, and we market and we distribute the music. Now, when it goes out to a retailer, like Apple Music or Spotify or YouTube or Amazon Music and all the rest, right? There are thousands. We have to push that through a distributor, and the distributor takes a fee. And then, of course, the platform where you're streaming, Apple Music or Spotify, will take 30% of revenue on a download, right? Spotify and streaming basically just gives you a net number, right? That net number is generally, if you're on a paid system, about 0.004 for each time you play a song. So that means about 2,000 to 3,000 streams equals one album sale, probably even more when you consider the distributor fee. So what happens in this process of working through the existing distribution system in music is that even us as a label, we're getting probably 50 to 55% of the original of what you pay, right? If we're lucky through that system. When you put something on Bandcamp and when the fan goes to Bandcamp and downloads an album for $10, Bandcamp takes 10% and there's a 3% credit card processing fee, right? So that's $8.70. It's a much bigger share for the label to receive and for the artist to therefore receive their share. Then when you add what's happening with Bandcamp on the first Friday of each month where they waive the 10%, now we're talking about 97%. So what we've seen in the last, it's really wonderful. We've worked for years to try to emphasize direct connection between artists and fans, and Bandcamp has been a tool. We've been on Bandcamp since 2008, right? And I think they're founded that year or the year before, right? It's been a big part of what we do, but what we've seen this year is it's exploding. More people, 5 years ago, people would say, well, I don't really want to be on another platform. We're urging you now. We've been urging people, go to Bandcamp. As a consumer experience, there are some drawbacks. We talked about that earlier, but it's really kind of cool because you can have a collection. Everything that you buy is there. Your friends can browse the collection. You can go and browse other people's collection and discover music and know in 2020 and beyond that the artist is receiving a fair amount of money or a better amount of money. I mean, in my opinion, we should all pay more, but that being said, we understand the economics of it, but this is the fairest game in town. And so thank you for supporting. And if you're just tuning in and you've just heard that for the first time, open up a Bandcamp account and get in there. And that's what this is all about. We've listed in the chat some of the links for everyone who's here in the room tonight hanging out, and also for those who have provided performances for us tonight. So I urge you to just drop in, listen to the music. And we're also going to add some perks tonight. We're going to be unveiling some things. So Kaya Marks, who's on the line, if you can hear me tech-wise, please just send me a message in the chat. But what I'd like you to do, we have some signed copies of the Shaun Martin CD coming up. Let's hold off on that one for another hour. I want to urge everybody, before we go to the next artist appearing or hanging with us, Lespecial, to go to their site and check that out. Kaya will put the link in. Here's some other perks that we can open up. Kaya, if you can open up, Johanna Bernhardt has a wonderful record coming out on vinyl, and she is going to sign some copies, and we can open that up in the next few minutes. Alexia Bomtempo also has some vinyl coming up, and if we could open that up, the signed vinyl. And then a final reminder, if you're tired of hearing my voice, for the next 10 or 12 hours, you can get Archie the Goldfish, which doesn't come out until next week, but you can grab it on Bandcamp until tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. East Coast time. And ZENG from New York City, David ZENG, his album is in pre-order, but you can get that today as well. And Now we're going to check in with Fabian Brown over at the Ropeadope room to see if we've got any of these tech issues resolved.
Check 1, 2. I'm going to go to a track here, and I'll talk to you guys here in 1 second.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Fabian Brown here live at the Ropeadope Room in East Philly, and you are checking out the Music and Arts Festival here on December 4th. We're hanging out with a few friends from the Ropeadope label, and I'm just super excited to be here. In fact, I want to highlight, as a matter of fact, on their special release day, I have the cats from Lespecial. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear. Sounding good, Fabian. What's up, everybody?
What up?
Hey guys.
Awesome. You guys looking great over there too. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Likewise.
Jonathan, why don't you just start off with introducing yourself and kind of maybe go around the table a little bit.
Well, yeah, we're coming at you from our rehearsal space, Millerton, New York. I'm Johnny.
I'm Luke Charles Beeman.
And I'm Rory.
Awesome, fellas. So, Ancient Homies, December 4th, out, available everywhere today. Go check it out on Bandcamp and support these guys while you can. Maybe just kind of go around and share a little bit about, the album, the inspiration of the album. Tell us something good.
Yeah, well, it came out today. We're super thrilled to share it with the world. Yeah, thank you, Lewis. Ancient Homies, it's 11 tracks of stuff we're really happy to let out of the airlock into the multiverse, and we hope everyone enjoys it. The response has been great, definitely, and we're very excited to team up with Ropeadope for this one. You guys have been on my radar since my first festival in 2002.
Bergfest?
Yep, Bergfest, and obviously Medeski Martin Wood is huge for us. We've seen them in our formative years hundreds of times, and you guys have always kind of been part and parcel with that scene. So yeah, we're honored to release Ancient Homies today with Ropeadope Records.
That's so awesome, and I'm glad the response is coming out really great too. We've had a lot of chances to talk and discuss the project, throughout this pre-release here, and it's come up a couple of times that you're feeling the love from the jam band scene, but when you listen to the music, I wouldn't really put it in the jam band category. So what's the connection there? What's that all about?
A good question, Raymond. It's one that we like to have fun with. We're super fortunate to be in the jam band scene and the community. It's playing live music festivals, eclectic artists performing there, and just bands that are super open-minded. What a formative experience for us was going to Bonnaroo in 2006 and seeing Oysterhead and Radiohead. And we were just like, damn, music festivals are fucking cool. And so we're really fortunate to be able to play them now. And it's kind of an ongoing joke that we embraced. For this album, we were on Fish Radio. We had Ari Fink hosting an interview panel with us. And so we had a lot of artists in the jam band scene chime in on whether or not we were a jam band, and then we had some metal thrash guitarists do it too. So it's an ongoing debate, and I guess there's no wrong answer, but we're really grateful to be in that community for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to chime in with some history and commentary on that. First of all, Bergfest, that's the Logic show, right?
Yeah, and the Yohimbi brothers, I believe.
Yohimbi, yeah. Okay. And then Bonnaroo was 2006. That wasn't the first Bonnaroo, was it?
No, first one was 2002, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it was pretty early into it, though.
A couple years into, they'd figured it out a little bit by then. It was pretty big.
We flew a plane over the crowd with a Ropeadope banner.
Awesome.
Wow, that's
against their wishes.
That's amazing.
But it's really interesting that you're here and that you had that was your response. We as a label have kind of danced in and out and around the jam band scene as well, with that same kind of it's great, it's wonderful. There are a lot of fans who really know a lot about music and are very supportive of music, and it's wonderful. But at the same time, it doesn't define who Ropeadope is, and I sense that's the same for your band. It doesn't really define who you are. You didn't get together and you don't write music and say, what would a jam band fan want to listen to, right? You're just creating. And if you look at the history, there's everything from Logic, of course, MMW, all the way up to Colonel Bruce, right? Who, I wouldn't call Colonel Bruce's music jam band music, and yet the Horde Tour is a
nice. Yeah.
top thing in jam band scene. So, you know, maybe it's just one of those things, and I hope it stays elusive, that the American system continues to try to define but doesn't ever get their hands on. Right?
I think the eclecticness is to be embraced, you know. I mean, like Johnny said, we have been listening to Ropeadope records since we were kids. I remember buying DJ Logic and Antibalas Afrobeat Orchestra and always seeing the little Ropeadope fire symbol on back there. So, yeah, I mean, we grew up listening to jazz and studying jazz too. And we saw Slayer and Primus last year, and it was one of the dopest shows. So, I mean, just keeping it super eclectic is what it's about for us, for sure.
Beautiful. You mentioned a couple of influences. Is there anybody else you'd like to reference?
I guess for the band, I can speak for the band, and I say that the new Tool record was pretty inspirational, influential. That first single for Fear Inoculum came out the day we were tracking Snell's Fleet, the first track on the album, that I feel the Tool influence is pretty apparent on there.
It was meant to be.
So yeah, that was a big one for me. I don't know if you guys have any other specific ones for you.
I mean, all the Tool records for sure, especially that new one. You know, I'm into like a lot of the old, we all are, but like a lot of the older progressive music, like things like Yes and King Crimson and Rush, and obviously Tool and Primus. But you know, like tracing those influences back to like their root of where they came from, kind of like, okay, what was Primus listening to when they were writing their stuff? Oh, they were checking out Crimson and Rush and Zappa, Ecstasy, Peter Gabriel. So you get back to like the root of those influences. Those are some of the other bands that I'm really into. More modern stuff like Animals as Leaders or like Shaun. And then some like in a different scene, stuff like Mark Juliana's beat music or like Lewis Cole, Nate Wood, that kind of scene.
Lewis Cole, so
more,
fire.
More future stuff, you know. So again, very
That's that future shit.
Very wide ranging, you know.
And Luke mentioned Bonnaroo. We saw Radiohead together, 06. That was obviously a great experience. And then back to Berkfest. I mean, I was 14. I had just discovered Fela Kuti, and I see this 19-piece Afrobeat ensemble just crushing this daytime set, and I was just floored. And I mean, it changed the course of my life in like 7 seconds. So you guys are ancient homies.
Oh yeah.
Ah, there you go. That was what I wanted to lead to next. Ancient homies. I get it. Like, I know. I'm like, thank you. But where did that come up? Where did that originate?
I think it's always been there since the beginning of time.
Good answer, Luke.
There we go.
I mean, we come up with a lot of kind of fake album names or song names or band names, and we have like a list in our phone of just kind of joke names.
It's a good list.
It's a good list. But Ancient Homies was one that, I don't know, we were like, that's actually kind of good. And it stuck with us. And we like things that can be ambiguous. It can mean, I think it means a lot of things to a lot of people, which is cool. I like the fact that some people have interpreted it to be us and just playing music for, 15 years now, since we were little guys figuring out riffs on our guitars, and to still be doing it. Grateful for that, for our celestial homies off planet and our friends that aren't with us anymore and family, and do something for them. And I don't know, it's dark, it's ominous, but it doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's kind of our vibe.
Yeah, I feel like I'm part of a family there. Yeah, Ancient homies. I like it. What I'd like you to do, if you could, speaking of the names that are in your phone, Snell's Fleet, I think that's the first video that we're going to queue up. Mm-hmm. And first tell us, this is a live show that you did in 2020?
Rare thing.
Yeah, it was a drive-in show. We did it at Falmouth Drive-In at Cape Cod. This was the second set. Our first set, we did a live movie score to The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It was a really, really cool experience. Our LD VFX design, Vin Puglisi, did visuals. We had 3 giant LED screens, a whole light show that was coordinated with this German expressionist film from the 20s. And we performed a live score, and it was great. And then the second set was original music. And so we opened the set with a couple tracks off the new album, and nobody's ever seen them before. So this is our people's first chance to check out the first 2 tracks, which are off Ancient Homies live with the VFX design visual experience.
Beautiful, and that's such a beautiful intro, but I'll interrupt it like I do. Snell's Fleet. Is that just one of those names in the phone?
Yeah,
I'm thinking of Admiral Snell, who,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think it, we went back and forth on some names and kind of just kept coming back. I think I was reading like a lot of Lovecraft at the time, and I loved the idea of kind of big ancient naval ships, but we also applied it like to sci-fi. It could maybe be a fleet of alien ships, and we've kind of always been about that alien naval connection. I don't know if there is one, or maybe we just have, it's always been there for us. But yeah, man, Snell's Fleet can be whatever you want. It can be a formidable boat army. I guess it could be Homie on the Steelers this year and their whole squad. I mean, it can be anything.
Well, deep space is like an ocean, and filled with waves. So I'll go with the naval and alien thing. Let's cue this video up. I'm very excited to watch it. And then when we come back, a friend and fan, Mr. Will Hansa from Escaper, will have the microphone.
Hansa,
awesome. The first time we'd seen this video too, so this or earlier today. So
all right, folks, we are back. If you were one of the people who said that drive-in concerts couldn't possibly be exciting, you have now been corrected by the band Lespecial, and we are here with them, and we are also here with Mr. Will Hansa of Escaper. A Ropeadope regular and one of the most wonderful human beings I've met in my life, and I've met a lot. Will, I saw early on social that you were a fan of this band, and I know that you know the band, so I thought I'd hand the mic over to you and see if you can be the interviewer here for a minute. What questions would you have for these cats? And you can put them on the spot.
Oh man, watch out, guys. First of all, Lewis, thank you for those kind words. Love you much. And you know, being on Ropeadope the last 5-6 years has been a wonderful thing in my life, and I've met so many great musicians and people through it. And just the way you guys do things really is, I wouldn't see it any other way. And so when these guys, Lespecial, I heard that they were going to be releasing this album on Ropeadope, I was like, hell yeah, fam. What's up? So I'm really excited about that. And the album's fire, guys. My whole band, Escaper, we've all listened to it, and you know, it's just like, you know, F yeah. So to put you on the spot, let's see. Since your last record, of course, there's been evolutions, right? And I guess my question is a little bit two-pronged in that I kind of wonder how, you know, some of these songs, I guess, you've been playing live for the last couple years or so. And so I wonder, have they evolved over that time, and how? And then just more generally, How has your songwriting process evolved since your last record?
Hey, what's up, Will Hansa?
Hi.
Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I got to shout out Will Hansa and Lewis, and it is a real honor to be a part of this Ropeadope family, Fabian, everybody there. I remember when Will and I were collaborating on a project. We did a live score of Halloween, speaking of live scores, with Rory at our Bobo Loco.
Mm-hmm.
We love live score in horror movies, you know. That was actually only the first time we did it, but I remember talking with Will about it and just talking about you putting out a Scapers album on Ropeadope and just being like, damn, man, I want to be on Ropeadope. Like, we got to put out the special album on Ropeadope, man. When are we going to make that happen? And here we are. So we made it happen. Good job, everyone.
Cheers to that.
Influences or songs, right? Songs. Well, it depends. Some of these songs are definitely older songs. Like The Vessel, if you've seen Lespecial in concert over the last 2-3 years, you've heard that song. It's become kind of a fan favorite before we really released a single. But so a couple of these were older songs. Machine Elf and Snell's Fleet, if you'd seen us a couple of years. Like Tonberry and Snell's Fleet were songs we debuted at our Spectacle event at the Reliquarium around Halloween. We'd always try and unveil some big prog epic, as it were, at a Spectacle event when everyone's dressed crazy and acting like weirdos, howling at the moon. So some of the songs are older, but some of the songs are newer. And the homie improvs, we got to kind of experiment with improvising in the studio and then going and doing and chopping it up afterwards. So there's some music that people had never heard until today, which is really cool. So it's awesome for people to hear songs like Repeater and, of course, the future classic Homie Numero Trace, Homies Blurring into One. So yeah, so they're all kind of different, but yeah, it's very cool for people to finally hear these songs in their evolution now.
I can do it. Unless somebody, Roy, you want to say something to it?
I was just gonna add that, like, you know, sometimes it's nice to like do a song and not have like a ton of time in between the time that you are writing the song and then record it, because like you just get endless opportunities to like revise it or like second guess things. Sometimes it's nice to just get it out there, and at the same time it's nice to road test things. And like for me especially, I'm never like settled on a drum part the very first time I play the song. More often than not, I go with something really simple the first time and then let it evolve and grow as we go along. So in some cases it's really beneficial to have the songs being kind of like incubating and be road tested live. And on the other hand, it's great to be like in the box maybe a little bit more and just kind of do things in a finite timetable. You know what I mean?
That's a great answer. I couldn't have answered better myself. I feel the same. So I'll do a follow-up while I have the microphone. I know you talked about it a little bit in the interview you did last night with Sirius and Ari Fink, but can you give the rundown of what the number 3 means in the thread, the common thread, like a little bit? I thought that was a very cool idea, and how you're tying it in many different ways.
Yeah, the whole 3 numerical theme, I mean, it's kind of always been a number that's carried some significance to us. We're a power trio, you know, we've always been very much about that triangle vibe and kind of sharing the spotlight, not having a front man, but 3 equal parts making up our identity and our band, and we really feel that's important for our sound. And this was our 3rd album, and so we kind of carried some weight to us, and it was something we always had in the back of our mind. And a lot of our music, we kind of sometimes tend to write like in 3s. Sometimes like sections happen 3 times as opposed to a typical 4. Mm-hmm. These homie improvs are tracks 3, 6, and 9. They involve this scale or modality we've been dubbing the Snell scale, that's built around these small groupings of like chromatic groups of 3. Not to get too nerdy about it, I've said the word chromatic half steps a lot this week, but it feels good. Yeah, you know, it's like one of those things you don't really go in and, you know, we didn't want to make like a concept album about a number, but when you're aware of it, it just kind of organically kept coming up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know, it does feel somewhat cosmically of importance. And going back to space navigation and nautical themes, think about like triangulating, locating, searching for our sound maybe. And going back to alternative album names, Lewis, one of the working titles early on was Strange Sounds from All Around Town. I'm curious if you're glad we didn't go with that, but I am. Also, if you open the album, there's under the CD, there's a beautiful triangle design by our friend Feather Vansvik over in Sweden. She's an ancient homie, grew up with us, but now lives in Sweden. Cool triangle design right under there, in addition to the Billy Martin art that we mentioned.
I like that triangulation concept, and I'm sure now it's going to come up for me more and more.
Totally. It's searching for the sound. I mean, we always joke about one day the drummer for Hot Tuna came in here. I didn't know who he was, but he's like, oh, you mind if I play the drums? And he was jamming, and we got to chatting, and he just said the funniest but most profound thing. He was like, it's all about sound. So we like to go back to that.
Ever since John and Rory started saying that, man, I can't stop. Like, if we're sound checking at a show, they'll be like, all right, how's the monitor? I'll be like, yeah, my vocal up a little bit. It's all about sound. But it's true. Baby and cracking up.
I love it. I might have to steal and acquire it, actually.
Oh, dude, you should frame that up in the Ropeadope room there, on a plaque.
It's all about sound.
It's true. It's simple but profound. It's true.
Just put it right above the album.
Yeah, that's the tagline right there.
You could use that for the label. Maybe I'll steal it.
Yeah, go take it, man.
All about sound. I thought that he was talking about life and the universe.
Well, hey, it is all vibration and waves. You mentioned waves, the ocean, the universe. It's all oscillating, right?
Yeah, it's yeah. My mind is going to strange places right now. Mr. Hansa, do you have anything else that you want to follow with, or are we moving
Sure,
on?
I can do one more hot take on the spot question. Let's see. So one of the more difficult things that my band had, and we're in the same situation more or less here, is that release an album and you're not gonna do like the regular live tour with the album right now. And so, it's like you have to do all these other things, and there's other ways to do it, like streaming. So I'm wondering if you guys have any streaming ideas coming up about doing some kind of like live streams that we should know about now, or in the works.
Potentially in the works, right? That we can say that, right?
All we can say is potentially in the works.
All right.
Week, but no, we've definitely talked about doing, like, I think we want to record some Primus stuff soon. These guys are going to go on the Primus Tracks podcast, and we wanted to record a couple renditions of our Primus covers here, maybe, for them to play on that show. We're a big fan of that show, and obviously the band.
Mm-hmm.
Good band.
Good band. Primus sucks. Well, I look forward to it. Picking my ear out for that.
For sure. Yeah, we definitely, I didn't mean to be like coy before. I mean, we're for sure going to do more streams.
no, be coy. Mysterious rock stars.
We had talked about with the album doing like playing it live, and we were going to do a show in Vermont, and obviously that couldn't happen with everything. But so doing the live listening party was really fun, and we got some cool response and feedback from fans and friends, and having our artists and collaborators cameo, and that's kind of the world we're living in right now. So I thought that was a really cool production, and so definitely shout out to Ari Finken for everyone that checked that out last night. It was our first time seeing it too, so it was fun to hang out and watch it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, shout out Tim Palmieri, who just joined the chat, another veteran of the Berkfest 02, I believe his band, which was then called the Psychedelic Breakfast, played a late night set there, along with also like Lettuce, I heard, did like a legendary late night set in the ski lodge. I didn't know them back then, but I was getting down with Soul Live and Desky stuff. But yeah, shout out Timmy P. What up?
Shout out Timmy.
Ain't your homie?
All right.
And we will plan on doing some more streams, hopefully from this space. We've done a couple from here, so hopefully before long we'll get another one of those cooking. So stay tuned.
It'd be great. I advocate that we do that with the Bandcamp live stream system.
Let's try that. Yes, please.
So I think we have another video queued up from the same show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe this is the
song that you mentioned.
Yeah,
it's been around for a while.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, Lewis. That's right. This is The Vessel. This is the song I referenced before that we'd probably been playing the most off this album live. And so it's got I think a bit of an extended intro and stuff here. We like to that song can change a little bit, change form and shape live. But this drive-in show we opened with Snell's Fleet Into the Vessel, which was kind of the first time we ever did that after the track flow of the album. So again, you got to shout out VFX Design doing the visuals for this. And this was a really cool show. And if anyone wasn't there, this is the first time that we're premiering this right now. So I hope you guys dig it.
Hey, 2020 and all that bad. We got a new fucking album coming out. We're gonna play something off it. Called The Vessel. Mycelium got their feelers out.
Most curious.
Darkened cafe, I watched you walk away. The sound of your footsteps echoing softly, the smell of your perfume lingers on in the room and measures my sorrow like the...
And welcome back, everybody, to the Ropeadope Music and Arts Festival, Day 2. We've had some great moments here chatting with the folks from Lespecial. And I want to remind everybody that this is all about Bandcamp today. So there's, I think there are still some copies left of the Lespecial vinyl pre-order. But I think you probably, after this festival, should go check right away. They've had a lot of support, and that's the place to be. I also have in the room, we had some backstage conversations, and one of the pleasures of my job is accidentally introducing people who I thought would have known each other already because they have common interests and are musicians. And I've gone the other way. I've introduced people to each other that already knew each other, but tonight was a pleasure to have Brian O'Neill from Malumbo, whom we saw earlier, whose video we saw earlier, connect here with the folks from Lespecial, and we had a little conversation about the video. Brian, I'd like to hear your comments on what you saw. You're not quite a generation apart, but...
No, but maybe so, yeah. Call it that for convenience. Yeah, let's see. Well, I can tell you about a little about the Malumbo video that contains some footage that a lot of the basic abstract footage done by Matt Bass, who's a videographer and producer, and it was a little samey, kind of unremitting, unrelenting, and so's that tune in particular. It's very maximal. So we needed to at least make it go quicker in a way, give it more structure, and chunk it into, sections, respect the sections, and so on. So we're kind of audacious in using found footage and DaVinci Resolve, another fine Black Magic product, I think. But in chatting with
together, or did you choose some of the footage, or
yeah,
got it.
Just use it in a way a little bit similar to, I don't know, let's see, have you seen the video for King of the Moon, which has like a Ralph Cramden line, a few Ralph Cramden lines and Kennedy lines. The Cramden line is bang, zoom, and some of them are obscure, but when you see him on camera doing this, it's like sharpening, in Photoshop or something. It really makes the lyric pop, oddly. And similarly for other places where you underscore something audible with something visual. So some of that was going on here too, but not a little bit. I mean, we didn't have anybody lip syncing words. We just tried to have fun with it. The point of connection with Lespecial was that they mentioned that they had that they've been doing improvising to horror films, and I mentioned that, well, that's something I've got a great deal of pleasure doing on a few occasions too, in a band a couple of decades ago called 21st Century Art, obviously the other side of the 21st century, when we named ourselves that.
Right.
And when CD-ROMs were a promising format for releasing creative content, there was a window when that was true, right? It seemed like that would be the artifact that would be sold.
Because you can copy it yourself and just...
Oh, because it supports alternate narratives. It's both audio and visual, and it allows some kind of interaction, however crude at the time. But anyway, yeah. Specifically, the one very successful attempt at doing this was, I mentioned my friend Frank Coleman and bandmate in 21st Century Art, in fact, the originator of it. The name is a multimedia guy and a drummer, and a musician and a video person, and he did an 18-minute reduction of this Mexican horror movie, black and white, from the 50s. It was very stylized and probably high budget for Mexican horror movies. The Black Pit of Dr. M is the name. And Frank himself is a scholar and lifelong fan of horror movies, and went on to produce and curate a re-release of Black Pit of Dr. M lovingly on DVD. So we come full circle.
I feel like I'm at a moment in history where the past and the future are the same, because the internet has kind of like disconnected us from history in a certain way. It's like the past seems just as vast at this point as the future could be.
Because much of it's been forgotten or hidden, I think. Yeah.
This is a very relevant topic when it comes to recorded music. Right? This is what we are doing. This is what you are doing, and we are helping with, is creating documents that will last forever. I mean, as long as we do, pursue. Yeah.
As a type of critter,
Right.
as a type of critter.
But the question is the context, right? How do you dig back into history and figure out who, and how would... I'm certain that I could have gone my entire life without knowing about that horror film had I not been here today and gained that knowledge from you. And I think your comment and started you in that direction was about, just the creative curiosity of this band, Lespecial, and their interest in such things. So the triangle is the horror film. Yeah.
Scoring live to picture is just thrilling.
And what's interesting to me is that, when these drive-in shows first started, we had always been talking about scoring a live horror film. We do an event with Spectacle every year, and it's kind of our annual Sam Hain spooky time celebration, costumes get weird. And we'd always wanted to do this live horror film score, and logistically, it just never quite worked. And so then when live music and everything started to shift and drive-in started to become a thing again, I was like, oh my God, like this is when we can do the live horror movie score. Why are no bands scoring movies that everyone's playing a drive-in?
You were ready. You were just enough ahead of your time. just enough. Not 15 years ahead. That's dangerous, but just enough.
I was like, let's announce this as soon as we can. Somebody else is going to score a movie at a drive-in, but they didn't, so we got it.
You're right, Brian. It's a whole different realm, making sonics for video. It's not the same as going in and recording an album of originals, and it was such a fun, expansive learning experience to, okay, how do we make a recording that really fits what's happening on the screen? And we did a little more, actually. We were doing some scoring for a Vice series called, you mentioned found footage, Brian. This Vice show called Source Material just came out, and we got the opportunity to do some music for it, and it was just, I had never really done that before, where you really have to make something that's sensitive to the subject matter and that really serves it. So you start thinking about universal music tropes and what kind of rhythms is staccato or legato, what's going to make people feel the way that I feel when I watch this footage. It's a very interesting realm to explore.
Mm-hmm. And also the narrative flow is given, basically, right? You don't have to evoke the content or tell a story quite so clearly. Something else is telling the story. You have to illustrate it or maybe do something ironically counter.
That's a great point. That was something was a learning experience for us working with Vice, because we were going back and forth with the director a lot, and a lot of ideas were happening and it was developing. We all felt really good about it. And when Vice got it, they approved us to do the score, but they were like, this is too heavy. This is like metal, like free jazz metal. It's too much. And so they kind of were like, you have to be more subtle when you're underlining emotion and film. And it was cool. And it was to hear somebody from Vice that they have do a pretty incredible job of putting together narratives, especially like Johnny was saying, it's all found footage, this source material program. So it was interesting from that perspective too. What is the real narrative? How do we assist it? How do we make the audience feel what they're supposed to feel? For us, it was like, well, shouldn't this be scary? This is about the bushfires enclosing on people's homes in Australia. And I don't know, I guess it was a little too abrasive, but we scaled it back and they used the one we did. So it all worked out. Yeah, it was a great experience.
Orchestral samples, did you fall back on?
Well, they used some. I think they definitely had some parts. They requested all our stems. And so there were some parts in the video where we could hear them adding some kind of soundscape. You hear a piano note. Oh, that was me.
I want to take this moment to mention to everyone in the room and to the public that David Sierri, who has worked extensively with Florentine Films and Ken Burns and done the music for Vietnam, quite a few Ken Burns series, also has 3 or possibly 4 albums out with us. A couple with as sort of a free jazz vibe with Yusef Komunyakaa, the poet, but a couple others are collections. One is different selections from his history with Florentine Films, and another, there are 4, Florentine Films. Another is where he writes an entire score and performs it for the classic black and white film Joan of Arc. So I will ask Kaya to put those all in the in the comments here, links for people to check out if you like this topic. Dig a little further there. There's something at Ropeadope. Lespecial. This has been Lespecial. I waited all night to say that.
It's been really a pleasure to connect with you guys in this forum too, so thank you.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for the great music, your dedication, and just consistently pushing forward, connecting with fans, and just bringing it out to the world. Thank you so much. Brian O'Neill, and we lost Lord Cecil Malumbo. Thank you on exactly the same lines, and thank you for participating and communicating and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us and with younger folks here in the Ropeadope platform.
Thanks for providing a place to do it and everything.
All right.
pleasure.
Mr. Brown, we're going to move on to some video, and we're going to try to tie in. You guys are welcome to hang out. We're gonna jump into a conversation with Shaun Martin and Gorden Campbell in Dallas and Los Angeles, I believe, and Los Angeles, yeah. And
awesome. We'll stick around. We'll take this time to say thank you so much, Fabian, Lewis, everyone. Brian, great to meet you. Let's talk again.
Great to meet you guys. Look forward to next time. Me too. I'm going to toddle. Lewis.
See you, brother.
I know for sure, been down this road before, a road that never seemed to end.
I know for sure, I've seen it all before.
I've seen
what
it
goes
all
around
before.
is coming round again.
What goes around is coming round again. I know for sure, been down this road before, been down this road before.
Down this road.
The story about the way things used to be. It sounded like they were describing the world today. So sad to say, I know for sure, been down this road before. The same old story, just a different day. I know for sure, been down this road before, been down this road before. I heard somebody say that they don't like the way some people look or pray. Stand your ground, ask questions later. Okay to shoot them down, long as they're black or brown. We need a change today to find a better way. I know for sure, been down this road before, a road that never seems to end. I know for sure, I've seen it all before. What goes around is coming around again. I know for sure, been down this road before, been down this road before. I know for sure that only love can cure history repeats itself, and then I know for sure it's time to close the door. And if not now, then who knows where or when? I know for sure, been down this road before, been down this road before, been down this road before, down this road before, been down this road before.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, it was great. Good
That's
job.
good. That's good. You got it?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, that's it.
All right.
That's it.
Thank
Fun.
you. Great.
Stargazing, summer nights with you make me feel like we're chasing stardust on the moon. Oh, I love the way that you love me so dear. Stream like clouds reappear, big when you're here. Can't help but stare at the light of my life. That's you. And when the sun goes down, your gorgeous eyes light up. A lovely haze of brown, a shade of warmth. I'm lucky to spend my nights of June and July to the August bloom with you. What else could two lovers do? I'm thinking about breezy evenings, chilling on the palm trees, talking sweetly, lying on the beach. Where would I rather be than have you next to me? Have you next to me? Underneath the sky full of stars are gleaming. Stargazing, summer nights with you make me feel like we're chasing stardust on the moon. Oh, I love the way that you love me so dear. Stream like clouds reappear, big when you're here. Can't help but stare at the light of my life. That's you. Dusk to dawn and mornings to afternoon sunsets on my mind. Thinking lately about how much you mean to me. How did I find you and I dancing in the dark? You and I, memories in my heart. I'm thinking about breezy evenings, chilling out your eyes, talking sweetly, lying on the beach. Where would I rather be than have you next to me? Have you next to me? Underneath the sky full of stars that gleam, 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 Hey, we've been talking too long. Let's just look at the stars. What I mean, we've been talking too long. When I'm with you, I'm up to Mars. Hey, you, we've been talking too long. Let's just look at the stars. What I mean, we've been talking too long. When I'm with you, I'm up to Mars.
are you going tonight?
We're going to the 1970s.
What?
On the Pan Am 747 Jack Clifton.
And welcome back to the Ropeadope Music and Arts Festival, Day 2, the last Bandcamp day of 2020. This is all about independent artists and all about Bandcamp supporting them and you supporting them. So we appreciate everyone who's tuning in, and we appreciate all of you who have set my email on fire this morning and today with You've Got Money from Bandcamp. Very important and a very great support pipeline for musicians. We've hung out, we've talked with different Ropeadope artists, and we've posted in the links. You can scroll back in this feed if you're just watching now and find some incredible music from Lespecial and so many more. My name is Louis Marks. I am here at an undisclosed location. I'm patched into the Ropeadope room with Mr. Fabian Brown. Fabian, how are we doing?
We're doing great, Louis. Glad to be here. Holding the fort down.
Holding it down. Well, I hope you can relax a little bit and get a beverage in hand or your choice of ingestible material. Now we're going to have some fun, and I want to talk a little bit. First of all, I just need to tell the audience there's like a room full of people waiting to just talk to you, to just be in the room. They're hanging out. We have 2 albums out this year. We have a lot of albums out this year. We have 2 albums out this year that go just above and beyond, not just in the musicality and their adventurous nature, but also in their completeness. These are 2 cats that we're going to join with tonight that are not only great musicians, great artists, but also great producers in that their albums are, they just feel like a fully completed document in time. But I also want to add that they are 2 of the most wonderful and positive people that I have ever met. And in 2020, it's just so important to have that vibe. I am enriched by connecting with these people and with their communities on a regular basis. And I have to say that each of the albums features people, and you're going to see some of them tonight, that are part of those communities. And I am talking about the great Shaun Martin and Gorden Campbell. Shaun Martin's Trio is out on Ropeadope. It's been out for a couple of weeks. If you haven't heard it yet, features Matt Ramsey and Mike Black Dynamite Mitchell. And, you know, Shaun just has a way of stunning us. So, you know, if you've listened to Seven Summers and you've listened to Focus, this one's going to take you on a new journey. Gorden Campbell's album Conversations out today, I believe, right? Today is the day, or is it last Friday?
Last Friday. Today is 1 week.
Friday. It's all a blur. And I'll tell you why I thought it was today, because in COVID, we've had like manufacturing problems. But what arrived on the porch today? But there it is. So Gorden Campbell CDs are here. We're going to jump into conversation with all these folks, and we're going to set it up where they can interview each other. And we've got some, I'm sure you've got some stories about how you know each other, and we're going to go back. But what I really want to do is hear Shaun's interpretation of Gordon's album and Gordon's interpretation of Shaun's album. And I want to hear what went on behind the scenes, how this all works, because this is not easy. You guys make it look easy, but it's not easy. I want to take a quick moment before we open up the room and tell people downloads.ropeadope.com. You can find both of these albums. We have just opened up signed copies from each of these artists that you can purchase now, a limited number of copies. Please jump on and blow up the email a little bit more. So let's go to Dallas, Texas first. Say hello to Mr. Shaun Martin. Are you there?
Open up your microphone, Shaun.
There we go. Can you see me?
I can see you. I can hear you. Welcome, sir.
Okay. Awesome. So, first of all, thank y'all so much for even having me as a part of this festival. I thank you so much for being such a dope label. Get it? Ropeadope. Dope. Rope. Okay, y'all got it. So nonetheless, I appreciate y'all very, very much. And you know, I can talk for hours about Gorden Campbell's records. So you might want to tell me exactly what you want me to say. But I will tell you, I'm very, very grateful for my good friends, Matt Ramsey, who's on here, and Mike Mitchell, who will be joining us evidently here in a few minutes, you know, for helping me create the Trio album, because they really did a phenomenal job. You know, but these two guys, they're like my little brothers. They're phenomenal musicians, you know, and I can't wait. I'm about to say this. He has no idea I'm about to say this, but I can't wait to get started on Matt Ramsey's record, because he's gonna do a record, because I'm gonna make him do a record, because he's a phenomenal talent. And of course, Mike Mitchell already has records out. You know, Black Dynamite. He has Time Out. He put out Killing Bugs. I think Killing Bugs was on Ropeadope, right? You know, so you know, it's just you know, good times with great people. You know, and you really can't ask for anything more.
Let's run around the room real quick, Shaun, because there are a lot of people here, and we're going to put up gallery view. If you could shout out the folks, I see Matt, and you know, tell us who everybody is. Who'd you bring to the party?
Well, so far it's only Matt. At the end of the day, the record, like I said, it's called Trio. And so I basically called it Trio because it's my third record, but I wanted to do it as a trio. In a more electronic kind of. So Matt is here because Matt is the more responsible one. I have no idea why Mike isn't on here. He's the less responsible one. But hey, if you don't have that, you don't have a band. So, you know, if you don't have somebody that's on top of their business and somebody that's like not on top of their business, then you gotta. Mike is actually cool. I know he has a gig at some point in this evening, so he'll be at some point. But for the most part, it was just us three, and we started playing this music. Maybe like two years ago. We started playing as a trio like 2 years ago, and it just worked. It just clicks. It just works. I mean, we can have a whole show and all we have to do is look at each other, and it's like, you know, it's like nonverbal communication, and it just works. You know, so that's just what we do. Much fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we're having some connection problems with Shaun right now. So let me bounce it over to Gorden real quick, and then Shaun, we can kind of, you know, see. I don't know if we can chat and see if we can fix that, but there's definitely a lag. I don't know if everyone else is feeling that. Fabian, are you hearing that?
Just a little bit. I'm gonna talk to Shaun in the chat to clean some stuff up.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So Gorden Campbell. So we got a whole LA crew here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to run it down? Let us know who we're looking at, and
we can. All right. Since you're on the top and right next to me, Sarah Reich. Unmute your mic. Sarah's
What's up, everyone?
the tap dancer of tap. I don't even call her tap dance. She's a hoofer. Like, she's real deal. She's like world famous. She's all over the world. She's not even in town now. She's out teaching somewhere. She teaches around the world.
I'm in Dallas.
In Dallas?
I'm in Dallas, actually. We're all the cats in Dallas.
So she's a beast. And I mean, ever since I first saw her tapping at a spot called Mambo's out here in Burbank, I was like, yo, I got to get her to do something with my band. So we've been working together ever since. You know, I used to see her in jam sessions ripping all the drummers up. They'd be shedding and trading fours, and she'd just be ripping them up. And I'm just in the back laughing like, man. So, and then I talked to her. She was like, man, cats don't know where one is. I was like, okay, she's real. She's real deal. If she's talking like that, we've just been cool ever since. So I got her on the album, and I had an idea of her and Sheila E. and me trading on a song. So I literally wrote a song so me, her, and Sheila E. could trade. It took a minute, but we got Sarah to come through, and we got Sheila to come through. So that's Sarah Reich.
Thank you.
And I'm just going in the order of the gallery on my Zoom. To her right is Mark Novelich from Seatown Horns. They played horns on the whole album. I met them playing with a band called DW3 down in Spaghettini's in Seal Beach. And when I met him, the bass player, Brian, was like, man, I saw them playing outside of a movie theater in West Covina.
Yeah,
and I invited them to come play with my band. What's that?
Outside of a pizza spot, yeah, he found us.
Yeah, they was playing outside, him and his boys. And he was like, you should come sit in with us. And I played with them one night because I would fill in with DW3. And that's why I was like, yo, who are they? They're dope. Like, their feel, their everything was just perfect. So
Man,
I call them whenever I can, and they came through. So thank you, Mark.
I learned so much from you, G, for real. Like, it's
thank you.
been a pleasure, man, for real.
Thank you. So one of my two best friends is on here, Taku Hirano. He came through. Now he's back in LA. Yeah. We can tell everybody. Taku was living in New York, and he was just out here for something. And I said, bro, come to the studio, bring some of your congas and stuff, and I'm just gonna pull up tracks. And I just kept pulling up tracks, and he played on everything I pulled up. That's Taku. He's, if you've seen Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, Whitney Houston, he's literally played with everybody. Dr. John, like literally everybody. And we've been.
Taku was on. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Taku was and Sheila E. in the same room, or on the same track.
No, two different tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, but Taku played on. I know Too Many Lost. You played on 6 in the Morning. I forget the other ones because I just kept pulling up tracks. I got to look at the credits again. But yeah, always comes through. And we met through Ndugu Chancellor years ago at a club. And he wasn't even living here yet. And then we just linked up and did tours with Kenny Lattimore and BET Honors. He posted something we did with Aretha Franklin years ago together. So we just been on ever since. So y'all, that's Taku Hirano. Next to him on my feed is the world famous Grammy nominated singer of singers, Angie Fisher. She sang on Initiate and wrote with me on Initiate. She's a beast. She got her own stuff out. Say hi, Angie.
Body.
Looking beautiful with them rich glasses on you got on.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's funny, most of the songs, well, actually really all of the songs that I did, I just started a beat, and then I come and play keys and I play bass. But every song I did, within like the first couple hours, I was like, B Slade's on this song. Angie, I want Angie on. I literally knew who the song was for by whatever I did. So that's Angie Fisher. I can keep talking, but there's a lot of people, so I'm going to try to cut it short. Next to her is one of my idols. Growing up, I grew up, of course, a lot of us listening to George Duke records. And I always used to say, man, George's records sound 3D. Like in the it sound like they're coming out the speakers. Like Illusions, 500 Miles to Go, Rhyme or Reason, Guess You're Not the One, all of that stuff, and beyond before that. And who would have known that I would end up playing with George Duke for like probably almost 10 years and recording. So I worked, his name is Eric Zobler, if you can't already see. He recorded and mixed all the George Duke, and that's just one piece of it. He's mixed millions and thousands of records and artists and musicians. He's worked with everybody. So, and when we toured with George, he did front house with us. So I was like, Eric's got to mix my album, just from growing up listening to George Duke. I'm like, Eric. So he mixed, I think, 7 out of the 12 songs. Yeah.
7, yeah.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours in that house right there where he's at, in that studio. So that's Eric Zobler. Now over here, this guy, Peter Collins, if you don't already know him, follow him on social media. This dude's a beast. So I've been following Peter forever. And then NAMM Show, which is a show in every January in Anaheim, California, I ran into him. And Peter's super quiet. So I was like, hey, man, how you doing? He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, I'm a fan of your work. He's like, thank you. And it was just like one word that, so I was like, okay. And we were standing watching somebody play at one of the booths at NAMM, and then his manager walks up and was like, you're Gorden Campbell. Peter, I'm his manager. And his manager, Sylvia, just was like, yo. And I said, would y'all want to work with me? And Peter was like, sure. And that was it. And I had to try, so I had the track. I said, can you do this track? And I sent it, and he sent it back, and it was done. That was it. I didn't get on no Zoom or anything. And follow Peter. He's a beast. Say hi, Peter, please. We can't hear you. Oh, you in your car?
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay. Hello. It's been a pleasure. You know, I love the song so much when you sent it to me. And so I was just like, wow, it just feels like I can do something with this, because I really liked it. So it's been a pleasure being a part of it.
Thank you. I'm so glad you did. That's called favor, because we literally just met at NAMM at one of the booths, and we just started talking.
Right.
And I think your manager's son is a drummer.
Oh, Shaun. Yes.
Yeah, because she's like, yeah, my son knows who you are. He plays drums, and that's how we started talking. But I had already spoken to Peter, and he was like, hey, man, hey. And he was super nice. I was just like, he's just super quiet. It just all came together. So I was like, it just worked. It worked. And he came through in the clutch and made it happen. So that's Peter Collins. Over next is TJ Wilkins, who I've been working with for a while. I've been knowing TJ since he was literally a little kid. Now he's like, what? How tall are you, 7 feet?
Oh man, 6'5".
He's 6'5". I've been knowing him since he was probably like 5'5", like my height.
Yeah.
But I
Long time.
worked with his dad for years too, and he sang on a song and wrote on a song called "Honest," and he killed it. And he sings with my band whenever we play live, and I'm like, I got to get TJ on something. So TJ came and wrecked shop as he normally does, and he killed it. So that's TJ Wilkins. Under him on my feed is Sharice. I think she's working, so she has her camera off. Sharice shot all of the pictures for the album and basically was telling me what to do. That's like my other best friend right there. And she was one of the people, she shot the album cover. She's a dope photographer. She's in DC. If you see a lot of the Michelle Obama photos that you see all the time, she shot those. It's like Obama, she's shooting in the White House and the Capitol. She's in DC doing the thing. Black Lives Matter Plaza, and we've been knowing each other since Howard, like for years. And she's one of the ones who told me, like, yo, you should do an album. And I was like, I want to wait for my band. I have a band, I had a band called ENG. Ethan Farmer, me, Eddie Brown, Eric Walls, Regiment Horns, Taku. If Taku was out of town, Rolling Guards, everybody was in the band. And I was waiting for them, like, let's do an album. The Horns were out with Justin Timberlake. Eddie was out with Stevie Wonder. Like, everybody was gone for like 2 years. And she was like, man, if you keep waiting for them, you're never going to do an album. You need to do a solo. And I was like, I don't want to be an artist. She was like, so Sharice is one of the people that was like, you need to do an album. Like, just, so I got to give it up to Sharice, not just for taking pictures, but for really like talking me into like doing it. And that's my ear a lot of times when I can't think of stuff. I'm like, yo, how do I do this? Or how can I, So she's a voice of reason. Hold on. I got one more and then I'm done. Get over here, kid.
While you're looking or while you're waiting, did you
He's
say
right
Ethan Farmer? Because if so, I'm out.
You said what?
Did you say
I should have
Ethan
told. Oh,
Farmer?
right. I should have told him to come on here. He's
Agreed.
somewhere making money. That's what he's
I'm
doing.
joking.
He's
I'm
playing
joking.
on something.
I love you.
And the song "Seasons" was written by this little child right here. This is my daughter Morgan.
Hello.
She's 19.
Hi, Morgan.
She's getting her producer chops on now. She's in here in this studio more than I am. So she's writing, producing, engineering. She can rap. She can sing. So she wrote Seasons and she sang Seasons. She also wrote on One Mind, which is the first song. And she also wrote, I think, the B section on Honest. So she wrote a bunch of songs on here. So she's 19. Say hi to the people, child.
Hey, how are y'all? What's up?
And she bit off me with the frown. I
You
don't
know what I'm saying?
She bit, but that's cool. So look
Love
out
the
for her,
little,
too.
I love the little interlude, man. The little singing
Oh,
interlude.
yeah.
It's so darling and cute.
Thank you. So if you guys haven't heard it, there's an interlude where I'm talking to little Morgan and I'm telling her to sing because she lives. That's funny, Sharice. But she lives far. So when I would pick her up to come stay with me for the weekend, it's like an hour or 2 hours in the car. I play music. And in the beginning, she was super little. She doesn't remember this. I'd be playing like JoJo, the artist JoJo, or Mary Mary. And like hours later, she'd be humming the melody. And I'm like, I think that's the same key as the song. Like I can't do that. Remember this. And so I would go back and listen. I'm like, I think she got perfect pitch. So it hasn't been diagnosed, but she just hears everything. We'll hear a run, like a Karen Clark run. She'd be like, that third note was sharp. Like the third note in a Karen Clark run or a Kim Burrell. I think that, I'm like, your ears are crazy. So ever since then, she's been into it. And she's in the studio working. And so I'm just trying to be the guy to help push her along.
And I want to say I'm proud of you.
Oh.
He is the reason I do this because I just feel like without my dad shot. Without my dad, I just wouldn't be able to pursue music and feel like I could make a legitimate career out of it. So everything I know is from him. So I appreciate you and I'm proud of you for doing this project.
Shoot, I'm gonna cry.
Right. Angie, all y'all, Peter, such a big fan. TJ, Shaun, you dope. Lewis, Sarah, Mark, Fabian, Taku, hey, Sharice, you already know, boo. I see Matt. Is that Kaya? Kate?
Yeah, Kaya.
What's up, Mark? Everybody, Angie, you know I love you. I appreciate you, Eric. Hey, I really
Love you back.
appreciate y'all, man. I thank y'all for rocking with my dad.
Hey, Morgan, I got something for you.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's all I got. I got these beats. That's all I got.
And the funny thing is, most of you guys remember when she was born. Most of you guys
Little. That's right.
known her since she was a baby. So
That's right. That's right.
she's taller than me now, which ain't that hard. But
You know.
so that's it. That's my people. Sorry for taking so long, but that's the truth.
That's
Oh, and before I finish, I really have to say, while I got you guys here in public, thank everybody, because it's hard making an album. This is my first album. It costs a lot of money, and you guys, everybody came through and didn't ask for any money. So thank you. Eric did, but that's a whole nother story. But
I tried to give it back, but you wouldn't take it.
Nah, man. Yeah, bro. It's like I really appreciate everybody, you know, coming through in the clutch, like, and killing it. So next time I will have a budget and we're gonna do it right. But thank you guys. I really appreciate everybody for pulling up. And even Sarah helped with the Sheila E. I gotta say it in public with that Sheila E session. And that was like the week before they shut down for COVID. None of us knew that it was gonna happen. We knew it was getting bad, but and we got in that studio. And it hasn't been open since then, but she actually helped take care of that session. So I gotta say thank you, Sarah, for making it happen.
You're welcome anytime, G.
Yeah. Thank all you guys. All right, I'm done.
beautiful, and you know, just a great example of what I fell in love with is community among musicians. You know, people making music and supporting each other. And you know, it's funny, in 2020 you look back and like it was already challenging, and now it's even more challenging. But there's a beautiful thing when we do this, when we hang out online, when we hang out in community. I just see that was really that was the thing that was holding everybody together in the first place, right? And so it's a beautiful thing to see you as a musician have this great support network around you and all these connections that are separate from the outside system that can apparently collapse at any moment. You know,
That's real talk.
It's a beautiful thing. That's what holds everything together, and I'm honored and it's such a pleasure to not just be a part of it and welcomed into it, but also to be able to be a part of letting people know that this is what really sustains us. So thanks to everybody. Let's see if we can go back to Shaun, talk about Trio and Matt. I want to hear from Matt Ramsey, but Shaun, I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, I think I'm good now, huh?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, I'll most definitely. So I guess the first thing, like I said, I had Matt and Mike playing on this record, and I got to say one thing about Matt Ramsey. I think Matt, how old were you when I first met you? Were you like 20? I know you couldn't drink. You couldn't have been 21.
No, I was 18.
18.
Yeah.
So let me tell you this funny story. So when I knew Matt's father is a bass player. His name is Butch Ramsey. He's a monster. So one night we do this jam session every Wednesday night here in Dallas, Texas. The DFW jam session is hosted by my good friend RC Williams, RC and the Grits.
Legendary.
And so this legendary, been doing that for a really long time. So I look up, and this one night the bass player that was supposed to come and play, he didn't make it. So I ended up playing key bass and keys at the same time. And I was like, dang, it'd be really great to have a bass player. Now, while I'm saying this, I'm like 17 shots of Jameson in. So I'm like, man, it'd be really great to have a bass player because I'm getting wasted. So somebody, dear Jesus, give me a sign. And so I look over my shoulder, and Butch Ramsey is standing there, and he has his son. And so Butch was like, hey man, you mind if my son plays bass for you? And looked at him, I said, hey man, can you play? He said, yes sir. I said, man, well, get your ass up here and play something, man. He's my go-to guy. Like he played so well that night. Like we've toured together with Kirk Franklin. He plays all my personal stuff. Like he's a great guy. And the cool thing about it is that he's actually a great guy. Like he's not like one of those people that you get and they're really talented and they end up being a jerk. Like he's a really great guy. So Matt, I just want to ask you, like, throughout this whole Trio experience, like, how has it been for you, and like, what's it been like?
Man, first off, thank you for having me on this joint, man. It's an incredible record, incredible body of work. It's not too many records that people can listen to and, just shuffle through or play from top to bottom. And this is definitely one of those I'll add to, playlists that I have already done that to and listen to, countless takes. And but it's been really dope, man, because like a lot of people kind of saw, like the stuff I would post, online, and it'd be like just, me playing my bass by myself. And so now that I get a chance to actually be on records and, just playing like some really good music, I think like, the reception I've gotten, from people saying that, A, the record is killing, and 2, they love the job that I did on it. Like, I think it's incredible, man, because, it's being tied to having, Mike on the record and having you on the record, like, that's incredible. So, to be the third piece that, kind of tries to hold everything together, it's incredible, man. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Hey man, listen, you're definitely more than the third piece. Hey, you're the foundation. You're the base. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the bottom. So if you can't have a roof, you ain't got a bottom. That's just,
right.
That's just true. You know what I'm saying? So
can I interject here? I just want to ask, like, in your mind, you have a vibe of like how big you want a project to be, and then you figure, well, I can get this done with 3 cats. Me, Matt, and Mike. Like, because the album sounds so powerful. I mean, it almost is like it's power trio stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I
Yeah.
mean, that's a rock statement, right? But here you're playing jazz, right? But it really is like a power trio.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of what I was going for. You know, this go around. I was trying to figure out how to make it basically that a power trio. Like once you know, Focus for me was a jazz trio, acoustic bass, drums, and acoustic piano. But this one, I wanted to be like electric. Like I want to be electric and electrifying. So that's kind of what I was going for. And so, you know, luckily I was able to add the right pieces. And the beautiful thing about it is that I think that between my record and Gordon's record, we both had to pull out some strong producer chops, because Gordon's record is Gordon is I'm gonna tell you this in public in front of everybody. You have strong producer chops, bro. Your record sounds like it's amazing. Like it's been in my ears, it's been on repeat over and over and over again, because it's well thought out, it's well produced. Nothing is too there's never a moment where it's too much. There's also never a moment where it's too little. Like all the balances are great. The singing, the playing, the arrangements, everything about it. And it's like, you know, and I guess, you know, to answer your question, Louis, sometimes if you're going to produce a record as a musician, you have to produce a record as a musician. You know, and so I think it's one of the things that a lot of times musicians neglect. It's like they just want to play and get out. It's like, nah, you still have to be a producer, and you have to create this body of work that people will want to listen to and people will want to ingest. Because if you don't, you know, then people won't like it. And the sad part about it is, if you make a record that people don't like, guess what? You won't like it either. You know what I'm saying? You look up, it'll be 2027, and you'll be like, I hate this record. You know, it's like, you know, I love everybody work that I've ever made. I love, you know, and like, you know, going back to Gordon's record, I like Gordon's record because Gordon's record reminds me of my first record, 7 Summers. But 7 Summers to me is reminiscent of like Quincy Jones's Body Heat and sound and stuff like that. And it's reminiscent of those because you have this person who, you know, they have this creative mind and they have the need to get these creative ideas out. That's the most beautifulest thing in the world, because now he's not boxed in.
Right, but also as a producer, you know the context, right? You know the history, and you know what to present.
Right.
I mean, I guess my question for you is, with a trio, was there a point at which you were like, it might not be enough, just the 3 of us? Do I want to add anything to this? Like,
nah, not at all. Not at all. Because even when I wrote the songs, you know, even the song that there's a song called What Lies, you know, What Lies Beneath, with that Matt actually started out in soundcheck, you know, one time for rehearsal. And it was like, yo, this is like, that's a dope concept. He just like, he started playing bass, and I was like, you know what? Let's put a melody on that, and you know, and make something of it. But you know, it just worked, you know. But I never said, you know, I should probably add. Now the only thing I did add was percussion on the Libya of the Rising Sun, and my son. He is, you know, because Gordon added his daughter, I wanted to add my son. Gordon added his daughter.
I want to speak out to people. In the future, there will always be someone's child on a record, or else it's not legit.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
If there's no kids on it, don't buy it.
If it's no kids on it, it's gonna sound like this. So it's not gonna matter. You gotta
who was the baby on Isn't She Lovely?
That was Stevie's daughter, right?
I would guess. I'd be betting, man.
Hey,
I'd say.
hey, listen, hey,
That's
hey,
Aisha.
hey, Eric,
That's
hey,
Aisha.
Eric,
That's his daughter.
hey, Eric, we better hope that's Stevie's daughter.
Well,
if not, that's gonna be a long ass time.
Right.
That's gonna be a long ass maternity suit.
Right.
We gotta figure that
my
out.
lips are sealed.
Right.
Say nothing.
I think it's a great time to surprise everyone. So I want to remind everybody who's watching that we're going to post in the comments where to go and support all of these artists by purchasing on Bandcamp or streaming on Bandcamp or downloading on Bandcamp. And if you can't afford to purchase, go ahead and share it. Let your friends know. Right? We've had support, and Bandcamp is a pipeline for artists. I think it's a great time for us to jump into a video premiere from Shaun.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Are you ready for that? We'll come back and we'll chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm with that.
Let's give us a moment to pop the links up there for people to support on Bandcamp, and remember that we've just dropped some. We just opened up signed copies from Gorden Campbell and signed copies from Shaun Martin for those of you who collect such things. And remember that you're not going to be going out to a show anytime soon and having either of these artists being able to sign that copy. So step up and support. We appreciate it. And Fabian Brown will cue us up with Shaun's video. Shaun, you want to talk about the video before Fabian cues it up?
Sure. I think this is the light and dark places, and it is one of 5 videos that we recorded for this record. So I mean, it features Matt Ramsey. The song the song features Matt Ramsey, and really, I mean, it's just 3 of us, so it features really all 3 of us at the end of the day. So. I hope y'all dig it, and
it's amazing.
All I got.
Do it. All right, and welcome back to the Ropeadope Music and Arts Festival. My name is Louis Marks. I am here not at the Ropeadope Room. I'm joined with my cohort partner in music and sometimes crime.
Don't tell him
Mr. Mr. Fabian Brown at the Ropeadope Room, and you can see behind him on the wall dozens, hundreds of wonderful recordings from some of the greatest artists in the world today. And I'd like to think that in 50 years, in 100 years, we'll look back at Ropeadope and we'll look back at this time in music history as a really the most prolific time in history since the 1950s or 40s or 30s. 60s if you look at different genres, but one of the most interesting things about my time here at Ropeadope is watching some of the greatest musicians and producers make some albums that often get overlooked or sort of slide under the radar in the midst of popular culture. And I think that we're entering a time here in 2020 where people are starting to pay closer attention to real things of value. And I think that when people come to Ropeadope and when they come and visit with these artists and listen to this music, that they're finding some real gems. And we're all here for a reason today at this festival to connect fans and musicians and build a future where we have a direct pipeline, a direct channel to communicate with each other and to bring great music to you, the fans, and also to bring your input back to musicians. So we're in the room tonight with Mr. Shaun Martin. Can't say enough, and he makes beats, which we found out tonight, or he's got it. That's what we get. And Mr. Gorden Campbell from Dallas and Los Angeles. When I first heard Gorden Campbell's record, and I'll indulge here for a moment. It was a little bit of time between the time that I first spoke with Gorden and the time that the album was finished, right?
A lot of bit of time. Sorry.
No, it's there was not any pressure. There was it just flowed, and when it's ready, right? And that's one of the luxuries that we have because we don't we're not a major label, we're not even a large independent label. We have the time to let the creative process unfold, and that creative process sometimes is restricted by life and it's restricted by money, and when it happens, it happens. And when I got the record finished, because I like to hear the finished record. I don't like to interfere in the creative process for one simple reason, because I don't know enough to interfere in the creative process. And that's what I think a lot of people in the business world and at record labels might get wrong. But hey, that's just my opinion. But when I got it, it reminded me of 7 Summers by Shaun Martin. Again, like I said at the top of the hour, it just felt like this full package, this recorded document that was complete. So we're in the room, we're chatting with people who have supported and people who performed on these records. I'm just going to jump back in, but I want to remind everybody, go to downloads.ropeadope.com, look in the feed. Kaya Marks is on hand to post links to Gorden Campbell's record and also to Shaun Martin's record, and we'd like you to support tonight. I think in the time that we've been chatting, I have another 67 emails from Bandcamp saying that people are supporting, so thank you, and keep it up. So we'll jump back in. I don't remember where in we were, but Fabian? Nope. It's my pitch, and I'm sticking to it.
No, it's a great pitch because it's really not a pitch. It's just doing the right thing for the right people and supporting the people who are making great quality music out there, and going to Bandcamp because Bandcamp is giving 100% of the proceeds to the artists and musicians, and that's a beautiful thing. You You don't hear that on other platforms that shall remain nameless. No, we just
name them.
We can name them. I just had a great time here hanging out, just kind of being a fly on the wall with some amazing, musicians and artists from all around the globe, and hearing the stories tonight and just hearing people just it is a community. You said that earlier, Lewis. It really is. It's one thing to have some monster musicians in the room, but then when you give them a chance to kind of just pull the curtain back, and they're all just good people and doing great things, and just to be playing a small part in pushing that type of music and that type of community out, it's a big thing. So thanks for letting me hang out here with you guys. And just be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, I can come in there and move if I need to. What channel you want it on?
and there's always those technical difficulties every once in a while too.
I love it. I'm here for it.
I think Sylvia would like a moment. Sylvia, do you have something to say? Just joking.
She has no idea that she's not muted. I love it. If she says something about some greens and cornbread, I'm going immediately to her house. I don't know where she lives.
I'm so sorry, guys. Kids, sorry.
Oh no. You fine, Sylvia. Say hi, Sylvia. Don't mute yourself now, Sylvia. Don't mute now. Don't mute now, Sylvia. Come back on here and introduce yourself, please. Because
hi, I'm Sylvia Porche, and I have kids that will gladly unmute me.
That's a beautiful thing. How long? Now you're Peter's manager, correct?
I am Peter's manager.
How has it been managing Peter? Because he has such a phenomenal talent. I'm about to take over your conversation for a hot second. How's it been managing Peter? Peter's a phenomenal talent. How was it managing him?
It's amazing. Peter is the type of artist that knows exactly the way that he wants to sound, how he wants to sound, and exactly the pathway by which he wants to get there. And so it's just amazing seeing him create, and just his flexibility and just overall love for music and his supporters is quite refreshing. So this has been an amazing experience for me.
Let me ask you a question. Sorry, Louis. Sorry, Fabian. I'm about to take over your whole conversation real fast. But
you're the man.
But I'm about to ask this question. How important is it to have a manager, and could you define a manager's role in an artist's life?
Wow. Well, one of the I would say the importance is I would say that there are some people that have been able to navigate this thing without a manager, but it's about absolutely, I'm sure they would not tell you that it's easy, because one of the important things that I do is I handle a lot of the administrative day-to-day things that in and of itself can consume all your time and zap all your creative energy. So if you're busy trying to make sure that the business at hand gets done and the intimate details of it, then whereby do you have time to have the freedom to create, and create to the extent that your gifting will allow? And so with that's one for me that I feel is one of the most important, that it allows the creator to create freely. Other things is, there's a lot of ins and outs of this business that, some artists, independent or otherwise, just simply are not familiar about the tangible steps that have to be taken to make sure that they're covered legally, as well as technically wise, that they get what they need to do what they do. Because it's not just enough to have the gift, but when you're going into a show, you need all the things to align to make that experience pleasurable for your listeners. And so that's another role that I take on. I can't remember, you guys gave me a two-part question. I'm just I've lost the second one, or did I answer them both at once?
No, you kind of answered them both at the same time, because the question was, how's it been being his manager, and basically in a nutshell, how's it been being his manager, and what does the manager do? Because the reason why I asked that is because I run into a lot of independent artists, and they want to get a manager, and they want somebody to manage, but they don't know what they want them to manage. And so it's like a lot of times it's like I had a conversation one time with a good friend of mine, PJ, and I was like, I was like, I gotta find a manager. And the first thing he said to me was, to manage what? And I had to think about that. It was like, what do they have to manage? Like, not much for them to manage. Like, I can return the email, and then you don't realize until the bulk of things start happening. You know what I'm saying? And then you start realizing it's like, ooh, I need something, I need somebody to handle this, because I can't be creative. I can't create this body of work if I don't have somebody returning this email, or and so that's the reason why I asked that, because a lot of times we don't understand. It's almost kind of like we know we got to do our taxes, but we don't know how to do our taxes. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So then you got to try to find somebody to do your taxes, but you know what they're doing, so they mess up everything, and then it's like you should know how to do your taxes, and then you got to know why you get somebody else to do your taxes. So you don't have time to do it, but you should know exactly what it is they're doing. And that's why I asked you that. Exactly. And like I say, and Peter, when I listen to Gordon's album, Peter is a phenomenal talent. I was like, who? He had people, and I was like, who? Pardon my French. Who the hell are these people, and where did they come from? And it was like, oh my God, and so that's one of the things that I really wanted to convey, because that boy Peter is, boy, if I ever see you, I'm gonna shake your hand. I might slap your nose, but I'm gonna shake your hand.
I am forever amazed at Peter, but I do want to make note here and say that it's not just enough to have a manager, but it's to have a manager that knows what they're doing.
That's right.
I'd love
to. As well as that manager will know that one of their peak jobs is to make sure that their artist is seen and heard, and the best managers are never seen, never heard. Meaning the limelight goes to the artist. If that's not your time to shine as a manager, you do your job, you will shine by doing your job.
Lewis, we need to have a whole symposium about managers, management, and all in between.
Hey, Shaun, can you put her in A flat, please?
Oh, yeah.
She put her in A flat, bro.
I think we should. I think we all need to, not just this group, but the whole thing, like everybody we've met and everybody involved needs to have a frank and open discussion about what works in this business and what doesn't. We hear different sides. Like when I hear Sylvia speak, I hear a manager who has a passion and love and care for her artists, rather than, and maybe it's just the venue, right? Maybe it's here. But I've often coached a lot of artists come to me and say, oh, I need a manager. And my response to them is like, in the industry, in the business part of this, your manager is you.
Mm-hmm.
So like to everyone that your manager deals with, they think they're dealing with you.
That's right.
So if that manager doesn't represent you properly, then everybody's going to think that you're like that.
That's right.
So be really careful about
first off, you didn't have to put the extra feedback on it, but I do appreciate it.
They have to
my situation
properly.
And I've you truly made my day. I think you made my month, year. I don't know.
I have to shout
I've been raving about you all day to everyone.
There's a cat who
it's kind of a selling point to
our
program.
But
I geeked out and it was kind of like fangirl moment, honestly, because I idolize you, and then to actually meet you in person was kind of surreal. But everybody's insanely jealous, Eric included.
When it comes to venues,
there
are tough parts of this business.
It's okay.
And then
your family is amazing.
That's a really delicate balance.
Beautiful family. And your wife sent me a couple more pictures. I really appreciate that.
I don't know the answer.
My boys were really pissed off when I got home because
management is important.
They didn't get to come meet you because they've gotten to meet all the families, and they're like, "What if the kids don't love the puppy?" And I'm like, "Trust me." And he goes, "They nice. They just nice."
Everybody else is going to think that your manager is you.
So yeah, I can't tell you how much it warms my
Most
heart
definitely.
to know she's going to be in a good
Most
home,
definitely.
because you know, like from day one, that's been my thing.
Suspiro. That's a Brazilian word for a sigh of relief.
Right.
What we learned last night.
Oh, you just learned that last night?
Yeah.
That's actually not bad. I've been on Babbel for like 7 months and I can't learn shit. So you did good.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
I'm very impressed. That's pretty awesome.
Well, I've impressed
Right.
myself, so that's what matters the most, right? Give us a beat.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Fabian, we're gonna play some music on outro, from Gordon's record. I want to say again that supporting these artists is the most important thing, and go to downloads.ropeadope.com, find the Gordon Campbell record, find the 3-0 record, make sure that you jump in. We have some signed copies that have just come up. There's not a chance that you're going to see either of these artists walking out and signing a boatload of copies anytime in the near future, so grab them now.
Yeah.
This is valuable. I really am thrilled that everybody showed up, Mark and Taku. It's great to see you. You're one of the last people that I hung out with.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Los Angeles, early 2020.
Grammys week.
Grammys,
Yeah.
Grammys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I came home and locked down, pretty much, you know.
And it's almost a year later. Crazy.
Right.
And they're locking LA down again. We just got
They're locking Dallas back down again.
They're locking
Yeah.
New Jersey back down again.
Really? Yeah.
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 And it has nothing to do with coronavirus. No, just kidding.
Right.
Right.
The drummer, I beat you to it. Yeah.
Right. Hey, Lewis.
Yo.
I don't know how soon you're gonna go, but before we go, I gotta say thank you to you for taking Terrace Martin's word. And after a conversation, you were just like, "Yo, let's make it happen." It was seamless. So I have to say thank you to you, thank you to Fabian, thank you to Kaya. I don't know where Ben is today, but that's the guys I've been dealing with. All you guys have been super cool, helping me out, because I've never done it. I've played on 1 million albums, never done my own, so it's different doing it on your own. You guys are patient, helpful, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So I just want to say thank you to you guys too.
Yeah, see what I mean? You're a good guy, G.
Hey man, you got to keep it real, man. Like
yeah, gratitude goes a long way.
And it's serious. I'm not just saying it.
I know you are. Yeah, I know.
Because everybody could have been like, "Nah, I ain't never heard of you."
It goes around in a circle. I mean, I met Shaun and Sput, and then I met Terrace through Sput, then I met you through Terrace, right?
Yeah.
You know, it goes around a circle, but it's all about the community that you guys have. You know, I don't. Sometimes I say it and everybody's like, yeah, I got my community here in Atlanta, or I got my community here in Dallas, but like you actually have a global community that's going to lead us forward. Like this is what it is. You know, I'm just tapping into it. So happy to be in service. I want to shout out Taku, Eric, great to meet you. Peter Collins, great to meet you. Charisse, if you're still there. Sylvia, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Prudence, I knew.
Prudence is my people right there. That's my girl right there. Prudence works at Yamaha, so I'm a Yamaha drum artist.
Nice.
And we've been cool, like outside of just endorsement and company. Like she's like, hey, I'm going to see her at Hollywood Bowl tonight. Got an extra ticket, you want to go? Prudence is that person. But when I used to tour a lot, whenever I needed something, I knew I can call Prue. If I need a cymbal stand delivered to Madison Square Garden tomorrow, I knew if I called her, it would be there. and she's just that person. And I know she already knows. Say hi, Prudence.
Hi, Gordon. Your family. You know that.
So Prudence, if you ask any drummer, and Morgan says hi too, about Prudence.
Hi, Morg.
She said I love her. Yeah, so I invited her. Prudence had to be here. So
beautiful.
She's still at Yamaha, but that's like beyond Yamaha. That's family.
Hey, Prudence, you sound like you can cook. What you making tonight? let's figure this out. Prudence sounds like she can cook for real. Prudence might be making some lamb chops with
right.
I gotta figure this out. Wait a minute.
Right.
Y'all a mess.
Thanks for coming, Prudence.
Thanks for the invite.
And Prudence is that one that says she's gonna come. She's gonna come. Like, I was in Orange County doing a session with LA Mass Choir. She's like, "Oh, I'm getting off work. Where are you at?" And she came. We was at Cerritos, and she came and hung out. It was a sound check. So Prudence is that one, for sure.
Prudence, I don't really play drums much. All I really have is these right here. So if you want to holler at me,
right.
You know, I don't know if Yamaha make drum pads or whatever, but holler at your boy. I got.
Hey man, she works in pianos now. Don't you work in pianos?
Oh,
I do.
And we were all mad when she got switched from drums to piano, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but you play piano, so it doesn't matter.
You play piano.
No, you really play piano.
Sorry, Louis.
So, Louis, one,
so I want to
Louis,
see
one day you have to ask Gorden.
Tomorrow.
One day you have to ask Gorden about his days at Howard and how he played piano and drums and bass.
We've talked about that a little bit, but we could talk about it right now. Piano, drums, and bass.
Oh, I know. I've heard the stories. I've heard the stories from Chris Dave. I've heard the stories from Gino Young, Cy Smith. I've heard the stories.
Are you ready to let it out to the public right now? Bring it out.
That's why he has on a Howard shirt right now.
Well,
he has supporting our wonderful new vice president.
You know. But Shaun is that guy too. And Shaun already know. We grew up in church, so growing up in church, we just played kind of everything. And especially my grandfather was pastor. If your parent or grandparent is the pastor, you end up kind of doing everything, you know. So I started out on drums, and then all of my uncles that played the organ all stopped coming to church, and they knew I could play a little bit, so they threw me on the organ. I had to figure so it is what it is. But Shaun does it too. I can tell by your playing that you play everything. Your pocket and everything. See? Exactly. So it is a natural thing. I got to tell this quick story. Sorry.
Please.
We were sound checking at Dallas at I don't remember the name of the amusement park, and we were playing with Jessica Simpson, and she's doing country. She did a country album. We were playing country, and this is somebody way in the back. It's an amusement park, so it's packed, and we're sound checking in front of just people riding rides. One guy's coming out the blue light, and I told my friend Brandon Brown, I said, "That's a musician. I could tell by the way he's looking that he probably knows somebody." And it got close, and it was Shaun Martin. Every time I bring up that, remember that? It was Shaun.
State Fair, Texas. It was the State Fair, Texas. That's right. It sure was.
Exactly. That's what he said. You ran into Kirk Franklin with the beer in your hand.
Yes. I turned around and was like, oh. Yeah.
Gladly. Every time I see you, I think about that story.
It was hold on, Gorden. Funny part, it wasn't just Kirk Franklin. It was Kirk Franklin and Bishop Jakes, and I was like, oh,
Jakes.
Hi. Hey Bishop, how y'all doing? Everybody good? Okay, cool.
What's the matter with you?
Right.
I was like, oh, I got something behind my neck, man.
Right. Classic.
True story.
Classic.
True story. Yeah, man.
We've been around the block a couple times.
That's right.
Well, now it's recorded for everyone to hear.
Exactly.
I'm glad we didn't tell no lies.
That's where I stopped. Oh, listen. Yeah, man.
Wanted to also say thanks. I failed to mention Mark. Good to see you, and Sarah as well.
Yes, yes.
Thanks.
They showed up and showed out. And Sarah has an album out too called "It's Tappening," so y'all need to check that out.
Well, it's called New Change, but there's
New
a song
Change. I'm sorry. Why did I say "It's Tappening"?
because that's one of the
songs
songs.
on there.
That's one of the songs.
Called New Change.
New Change is a tap album.
Yes.
Where can people find it?
iTunes, Spotify, you know the deal. It's a all original.
What about Bandcamp?
I haven't done the Bandcamp thing.
You got to do the Bandcamp.
Talk
thing.
about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. No, it's a tap album, all original music, songs written stemming from tap rhythms, transcribed into jazz melodies, funk, Latin jazz. Gordon's on it, Regiment Holmes, Maya Sykes, you know, Cats, LA Cats. Yeah.
Let's look that up.
Tap dance musicianship, musicality.
Yes.
And that's what I teach all my students, because, you know, the word dance is always associated with tap dance, because it is dance, but tap itself is the sound, so it's the percussion. So I'm always teaching my students to start thinking like musicians, play like musicians, play like a percussionist. How would you, you know, play along with live musicians, things like that. So
with your feet.
Sorry?
With your feet.
With your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's teaching them odd meters and everything.
Yeah.
Didn't Sting repost 7 days?
Sting shared my video of
That's
in the 7 days, yeah.
Crazy.
Super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thank you. Follow Sharice too. She's a photographer. Hey, man, it's Christmas time. Call her if you need any kind of pictures, photos.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, if anybody wants to drop their information in the chat, then Kaya can share it out to the feed. If there's any posts that you want to present to people and make sure that they remember. Fabian, we are at a wrap, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So to all of the folks in the room, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking your time to spend with us. And I don't know, I come off of these things a little bit emotional and just honored to be able to spend any time at all with people on this planet, you guys here in the room who choose to hear what the world has to offer and to present something creative and beautiful as a response to that. That stands in great contrast to some of the things that we've heard in 2020, and in my lifetime it's been going on long before. I greatly respect all of you for spending your lives following the muse and presenting art and presenting music to us. I can't thank Shaun Martin enough. I can't thank Gorden Campbell enough. And I really want to thank people who get that, who are watching and listening, and continue to support musicians. This is not a financial consideration. I know many things are a financial consideration. Everybody has to pay their bills. But when it comes to things of value, I just want to tell you that I'm tapped in, I'm connected with humans who are creating art, and that I think that it's very important that you spend some money on that, and it's not going to disappoint you. These recordings last forever. And these are true quality recordings, and I urge you to go to downloads.ropeadope.com and support. It's a little bit emotional for me because it's real. I'm gonna go back to Mr. Fabian Brown in the Ropeadope room, and Fabian, say goodnight to everybody and shout them out. We're gonna close off, and we're gonna come back for the Ropeadope holiday party in another few weeks.
I love it. And thank you, Shaun, for my exit music as we go out here. Downloads.ropeadope.com is where you guys can go and support some phenomenal musicians. And hey, check it out. Sometimes it's as easy as just liking, commenting, and sharing it with your people and with your network, and just sharing the vibe and sharing the community and the great music, and then magical things happen. So I want to thank all of you guys who took all of your time here tonight to support your homies. You know, Gorden and Shaun, I really, really appreciate that. That means, I know it means a lot to them. So if well, they said it, so I'm just echoing that appreciation. It means a lot to us as well for you guys to congregate and just to kind of hang out and be in the room. So Ropeadope.com, guys, check us out on all things Ropeadope on the internet. Downloads.ropeadope.com to support these musicians. You have until 12 a.m. 12 midnight PST to support these musicians, to get all the revenue going back towards them directly. So Fabian Brown here, live at the Ropeadope Room. Lewis, thanks for allowing me to co-host and run all this technology. And don't go anywhere. We have one more track for Mr. Gorden Campbell as we go out. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
You don't know how to act, moving too fast. Can we slow down one time? You're too inconsistent. Can't take it back and make it last. Only had you part time. Everybody ain't gon' last for long. If it don't work out, just know that some people might just be here for a season, yeah. A season, a season. Some people might just be here for a season, yeah. A season, a season, a season. Some people might just be here for a season, yeah. Here for a season, no matter what, we was here for a reason. See us on top like we ballin' preseason. Ice on my neck like I'm swimming in the deep end. So please don't hit my phone. Had to let you go, you know. Everybody ain't gon' last for long. If it don't work out, just know that some people might just be here for a season, yeah. A season, a season, a season. Some people might just be here for a season, yeah. A season, a season, a season. Some people might just be here for a season.